Good afternoon, Fighting Irish fans. Thank you for being here today. I'm Dolly Duffy, the Executive Director of your Notre Dame Alumni Association, and it is always a thrill to spend some time with Niele Ivey. She was an All-American point guard for the Irish women's basketball team, helped lead Notre Dame to its first national championship as a player in 2001. Yep. Was an integral part of the coaching staff that took the Irish to 7 Final Fours and the 2018 national title. Lots of great memories there.
Yes, yes.
But she didn't stop there. In April of 2020, she was named the Karen and Kevin Keys family head women's basketball coach. You didn't miss a beat, right? Coming in. Since led the Irish to 2 Sweet 16 appearances. You were named the 2023 ACC Coach of the Year, a finalist for the Naismith National Coach of the Year. Wow. How about that? Niele Ivey. So, what are you thinking? We haven't had you up here in a while, and it's such a thrill.
Thank you for saying all that. I think I need to retire.
Yeah, right then and there.
Feel like I've been coaching forever. No, excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
So let's talk about let's go back and talk a little bit about last season. Let's talk about the injuries, what that looks like, and what it looks like now going forward.
Definitely. Last year, we definitely, unfortunately, got hit with an injury bug, lost 2 of my starters, Olivia Miles and Darren Mabry, which really changed everything for us. It was towards the end of the season. It was definitely difficult to navigate through that, but I was really proud of my team and the resilience and determination that we ended the season with. End up hosting 2 games here, the NCAA tournament, so thank you all for supporting us and being there for us when we hosted the two teams here. My goal is to win it all. My goal is to get to the NCAA tournament, and I was just really proud of our group. Like I said, our resilience. I had a lot of players that stepped up. One in particular, Sonia Citron. She had a phenomenal year, and she ended up being first team All-ACC. Maddie Westbeld stepped up. She had an incredible year as well. So I'm proud of the group. We went to the Sweet 16, like you said, hopefully going a little bit further this year.
Yeah, so you've lost, going into this year, you've lost Dara, you've lost Laura Nebo to graduation, but you've really retained the core of last year's team. What does that look like? And how's it taken shape?
Yes, I was so happy to retain the entire roster. And like you said, retaining our core, which is Olivia Miles, Sonia Citron, Maddie Westbell, and Kylie Watson. They look great. They look fantastic. Everybody returned stronger. Everyone's healthy. Olivia Miles is still coming back from surgery. She's 7 months post right now, so she's jogging, kind of just playing it day by day for her. But she looks great. She's in great spirits. She's leading from a different perspective, but she looks really good. So time will tell when she comes back. And yeah, like I said, the returners are awesome. They had incredible preseason with us right now, starting up Monday here. And I've also added some great additions. So 2 grad transfers, Anna DeWolf, Becky Obenma, and then I added an incredible freshman class, which is Hannah Hidalgo, Emma Risch, and then Cass Prosper, who came in early. So really, really fortunate to have an incredible team that I'm working with.
Well, and not many years ago, you and I would be having this conversation, and we'd say just kind of acceptingly, like, okay, and you've got these returners, but that's not a given anymore, right? I mean, because of the transfer portal. Talk about the transfer portal and what that has meant, and how you use it, and you've got this incredible team that you've been able to mold.
Right. It's definitely different. It has changed the landscape of recruiting, coaching, every program. You never know what you're going to have at the end of the year. So I was fortunate that I retained everyone, so I knew exactly what type of team I was going to have. So the transfer portal can be good or it can be bad. For me, it's been I've had some great transfers here. Maya Dotson being one. She was an incredible addition from Stanford. I believe my 2, Lauren Ebo, like you mentioned, she was a great asset for us last year. And then my 2 great grad transfers. So I use it for the places that I need to fulfill. If it's a post position, a guard position, I utilize the transfer portal for that. And here at Notre Dame, it's very difficult to actually bring transfers in as far as academic requirements. And so grad transfers have been a little bit more. It's been better for me to bring in those type of players, and they have experience, so that's been very helpful as far as leadership. And from a leadership standpoint, I feel like I've identified the right people to bring them here.
That's great. You use the term fortunate, but I think it's more than that, right? I think that you are the kind of coach that they want to stay for. I think that you've done a great job building this team and having them see the vision that you started off talking about. I want to go all the way.
Right.
And so, and speaking of great vision, I'm excited how the season's going to start. Let's talk about Paris.
Yes, I'm super excited. So November 1st, actually next Wednesday, we leave for Paris, and we get a chance to really explore Paris. So it's not even just a game. We get a chance to actually, we go to the Louvre Museum. We're having a boat tour on the Seine River. We'll get a chance to have Mass at a really beautiful Mass with Father Malloy's joining us. And so that's going to be really incredible. And then the game in itself, it's the first historical collegiate basketball matchup, men or women. It's the first time the collegiate game has traveled overseas to playing against I think their fourth-ranked team, South Carolina, with the GOAT, Don Staley. It's going to be an incredible matchup, but it's also great for the game of basketball. We're growing the game. We're getting a chance to highlight women's basketball on an international stage, prime time. So it's going to be an incredible experience, a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the players. And for me, that's the most rewarding part of this is they get a chance to do something that maybe they'll never get a chance to do ever again.
And I'm going to guess that you had to get a bunch of them passports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But we traveled overseas this summer. We went to a foreign tour.
That's right.
We played in Croatia and Greece, so the passports were already ready. So we're just gonna put another stamp on it.
Yeah, and it just there's something about just saying, oh yeah, we're gonna play in Paris. And by the way, I'm going because I think they need me, right? They need me to cheer them on, right? Come on.
I would like to say that it's not possible without having the Notre Dame support. So there's been a lot of donors and people, alumni that have helped support financially for us to be able to take these trips. So I'm super grateful for them.
Yeah, and I know Monk's really excited about being a part. He's such a great fan.
Yes.
And so it should be really great. I think about not long after I started my job, a couple years in, Monk asked me to have lunch, and he looked at me. I'm going to ask you the same question, and he said, we both followed legends. How's it going for you? Right? And I talked about what it felt like to follow someone like Chuck Lennon.
Yes.
You followed a legend.
I did.
And you haven't missed a beat. How's it going?
It's going great. She prepared me for this role. So I'm fortunate and I'm grateful. We have an incredible relationship. She's my mentor. She's somebody I've always looked up to, one of my role models. And so having an opportunity to be under her as a player for 5 years, as an assistant for 12, I learned from the best. And so everything that she taught me, the knowledge that I gained, I've kind of carried that with me. And again, like I said, I've been prepared by one of the greatest that has ever coached this game. So I'm very grateful and blessed for that.
Well, you took a little short hiatus, right, for a year. And you were one of the first women to coach men's professional basketball. What was that like?
It was amazing, to be honest. Going in, I was definitely nervous, I guess you can say, just because I've never been on that side, so it was kind of getting comfortable in a different space. I was excited for the opportunity, but it was unbelievable. The Grizzlies, there's an incredible organization. I worked for an incredible coach, Taylor Jenkins. He was an incredible boss. I can't speak enough on the entire experience. It was amazing. The fans, the players, I built great relationship with those guys. I'm still in contact with them. I still follow them, and all of them are different places, but I'm still super supportive of the Grizzlies family. I'm fortunate they welcomed me in with open arms and really allowed me to grow and blossom there. So really grateful for that experience.
I know we're going to get to questions because we have a short time today, but you've done a lot of really interesting things in your life. And it seems like a lot at Notre Dame, but you've also been a single mom.
Yes.
And of an amazing young man. Tell us a little bit about Jaden and how he's doing.
Yes, so super proud of Jaden. It was a dream come true last year for him to be drafted and going to the fifth pick in the draft with the Pistons down the street, only 3 hours away, so I get a chance to support him, be there for him. But he had an incredible rookie year, which I wasn't surprised. He has a great work ethic, and he really just loves the game. And just like I said, just super proud of what he's accomplished. And so they have actually playing tonight. They have a game, their home opener tomorrow. So they have a new coach with Monty Williams, who is also a Notre Dame grad. I think he's in a really special place. And looking forward to seeing what his second season is going to look like.
Yeah, it's got to be hard. I mean, having him that close to not sometimes be able to go.
Right.
Because you've been such an amazing supporter of him.
Yes. I've tried to be because I feel like that's the best thing I could give him is for me to be present and being there for him. Because when it's a grade school and high school, I got a chance to be at every game. So with my schedule, it's very difficult, but I try to find ways to get there. But yeah, luckily it's only 3 hours away, so sometimes I could take a day trip to see him. But then I get a chance to watch him on TV a lot, so that's been great.
So does he ever call you and say, I'm homesick, or, geez, I just wish you'd make those chocolate chip cookies?
I wish, but I'm not a good cook, so
No,
he definitely wouldn't say that. But yeah, I mean, he got a chance to get home a little bit. He came home for my birthday in September, so got a chance to see him. But like you said, his schedule was so busy. So we try to find ways. He's going to come up to try to catch a couple games. Last year, he came to one of our games, which was awesome.
I remember seeing him there.
Yes,
yeah.
I was so excited that he made that trip. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see him in more games and vice versa.
Well, we'd just sit here and talk all day, but I know you all have some questions. And so let's go ahead and open it up to the crowd.
How did you get so many middle names?
My mom, she collected a lot of names for some reason, and I have 4 older brothers, so the story she tells me is that every time she was pregnant, she was hoping for a girl, so she had a girl name, and then four of my older brothers came before me, and then she tagged all of them to me at the end. That's her story.
So what are all the names?
It's Niele, Deirdre, Jamila, Vivica, Ivy.
Wow, it's good. What else?
Okay. What can we expect from KK Bransford and Cass Prosper this year, and how much of an impact will Hannah make on this team this year?
Yes, great question. So expecting a lot from KK and Cass. Cass gained some great experience coming in early last year, and KK threw her in the fire with our injuries. So both of them, I'm really relying on their versatility, their athleticism, and they're both very high IQs, have very high IQs. They're both very competitive. Cass got great experience this summer playing with the U23 Canadian national team and also the U19. She got a bronze medal with both of those teams. So that's a ton of experience that I'm going to try to utilize from her. She's just gotten better and better, and same as KK. Both of them are just unselfish players. They're big guards, so they do a lot for me with their versatility. And as far as Hannah, she's doing a great job, for a freshman, leading our team, being my point guard right now until Olivia comes back. And she is just, you guys are going to love her. Love her energy. She is just a spicy point guard. And her defense is really contagious. Her energy, her swag, her confidence, it exudes when she steps on the court. So you're going to see a really high-paced, really energetic team and competitive team this year.
When you played the national championship game, it was in St. Louis,
Yes, sir.
and you went to high school in St. Louis.
Yes.
And so I remember in the audience, 2 old nuns. Tell me about them.
Yes, Sister Sheila is probably one of them, but there was many nuns, the Sacred Heart nuns from Coriezu's, the high school that I went to. It was south side of St. Louis, and they all, actually when we arrived at the airport, they were all there, and there was a group of Coriezu students that greeted us at the airport, so that was really cool for them to be a part of it and to support me and to be at the games. But they're just a special family. That was a special high school that I had the opportunity to attend, and they still support me to this day. Sister Sheila, she works in Connecticut, so she comes to our games in Connecticut, which is great because I need all the extra prayers I can get in Geno territory. So still have a great relationship and friendship with her. I'm really fortunate for that relationship that I gained being from St. Louis and Coriezu.
Thanks for coming out this afternoon. So this has been awesome. But besides Muffet, who else has been the greatest impact in your life as a player and coach?
Great question. I would say just impactful just in life would be my mom. She's my role model. I've learned everything from her, and her strength and courage has really kind of made me who I am today. But as far as other role models, I feel like throughout my career, I've gained great leadership and role models. So in the NBA right now, like Zach Kleiman, the GM, and Taylor Jenkins, the head coach there, I've really gained a great relationship with them, and they've really kind of shaped the way that I see business and also basketball the last couple years. And I would say our former coaches, so Kevin McGuff, Coquise Washington, Carol Owens, they were all assistant coaches when I played here, and all of them either still currently head coaches, and CO's my associate head coach. So I think those coaches all shaped me. And Tish McGuff, which was Kevin McGuff's wife, she's also kind of shaped my coaching career. So I lean on those role models a lot, when I feel like I need sometimes I'll go to their practices or just pick up the phone and call them. But I'm fortunate that I've had a chance to create an incredible network around me. You're welcome.
As we go to the next question, you coached a long time. I'm always curious. Then you took over as head coach, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that it's easy to think, oh, she took over, she played for the team, she coached the team. That's a huge jump. What were some of the biggest surprises? And whatever they are, you've gone over those hurdles pretty fast. But what were they at the beginning?
Well, the first hurdle was COVID. That was
yeah.
the first hurdle, the pandemic, and that changed everyone's lives. So I didn't know if we were going to have a season. The unknown was really scary, I could say, because we were testing every morning, and so I was waiting for the results every day to see if I could practice every day, see if I could travel, see how many players that we had. So that was the biggest hurdle, and not everyone had that in athletics. And in life, it was it's still obviously lingering. It was a very hard time, I think, for everybody. So that was really challenging, navigating through that. And then I'd say just when you're a head coach, there's so many other things that I didn't realize as an assistant. And that could be administration, speaking engagements, all the rest of the things. But budget, you're worried about a lot of other things that has nothing to do with basketball. So I remember Coach McGraw telling me, when you get here, when you take that seat, it's going to be about 80% everything else and 20% basketball. And she was right about that. But you never know until you're sitting in that seat. Because you have to manage a lot. You have to manage a roster. You have to manage recruiting. You have to manage a full staff. So it's a lot of everything but basketball. But I love it, and I'm fortunate.
And you got people like Dolly Duffy tugging on your
Oh, no,
coat
this
saying,
is the best
come
part
on,
of it.
can you do it? Can you do
No,
it?
no. This is the best part of it.
Yeah.
I feel like our fans are the most important piece to this program, because you guys ignite us, and the energy from the fans and that support means everything to us.
That's great. Do we have another question? Got one right up here, right up front.
How has name, image, and likeness affected the team?
Yes. NIL has been definitely a different beast, I would say. I mean, that's another part of the challenges, is trying to navigate through that. Every university is handling it differently. There really are no guardrails with it, so it's almost like the Wild Wild West in some places. And here at Notre Dame, we do things the right way, and I'm fortunate to have an incredible network around me, and they've done a great job of really helping our team really monetize their brand. I think we have a great system here with our collective. We're learning every year. We're trying to grow every year to get better and to be as competitive as all the rest of the institutions. But it's definitely challenging when you talk to other schools in recruiting, because that's something that we never had to talk about before. We talked about the academics. We talked about coaching. You talk about, obviously, the tradition of the program, but now we're talking about money with players. And so that's definitely different, and we're all, I think, as coaches, still trying to navigate that. But I'm grateful for the support that we have here at Notre Dame. You're welcome.
You've always been one to lean on the idea of 4 years becomes 40 or forever. Now that I'm going to celebrate my 40th, I prefer to say forever. And this idea of the network, the alumni network. What happens to that when it's balanced against NIL money? Are people still as interested in, I'm going to get a Notre Dame degree, I'm going to build these contacts, and I know no matter what, I'll always be able to find a good job?
Absolutely. I think that's because I'm recruiting the right people as well. You can tell in the recruiting process what type of recruit you're going to get, or their parents and their family. So I've kind of stepped away and walked away from a couple of recruits knowing that our values didn't align. So I feel like I've aligned with the right people and the right fit with players that understand the value of Notre Dame. You know, Notre Dame's bigger than just a check. You know, this, like you said, it's forever. It's for forever. And I talk about that, and I try to align with the right families that understand that.
That's great. I'm going to keep asking questions. Yeah, that deserves an applause. Well, and it's no surprise, right? We'll go right back to the beginning of what you said, and that is you're fortunate that the whole team returned,
Yes.
but that's because you're targeting the right people.
Right people.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the right way. I don't want to miss anybody out there. We got one right here.
You know, you talked about recruiting. What's your outlook for 24, 25? Who do you see in the pipeline, and position-wise, what are you looking for? And the students you have now, who do you think will be leaving? Anyone early, or are they going to stay?
What was the second question?
Your current,
Current roster?
yeah. Any leaving early?
Oh, got it.
You know, no turnover this year, which was great.
Right,
Congratulations
yes.
on that.
Thank you. So every year, honestly, at the end of the year, it's just like I have to be prepared for whatever happens. Every year is different. So I usually just pivot depending on what happens. And then as far as my target for the next year, it depends on who leaves, honestly. So I have a couple players that have the opportunity to take another year, a 6th year. So there's three players on our team that could potentially take that COVID year or not. So, you know, that my recruiting class would determine if they stay, you know, so we'll find out. To be continued on that. But again, this is our last. COVID will affect one more class. And so then after that, I'll have a better general idea to know early, you know, what I need. But I use the transfer portal to try to fulfill holes that I feel like we need as far as positions.
That's great. Any more questions? Yeah, we got one right over here.
Oh, he's great. Thank you. He's doing fantastic. So I'm really, really proud of him. He had a great offseason. He's really excited for year 2. And Monty Williams is his new head coach. So I have a relationship with him, you know, somebody from South Bend or graduated, from Notre Dame. So looking forward to Monty and his staff and what they create this year. Thank you.
All right. You guys are easy.
No.
Anything you want to add?
No, like I said, I'm grateful for the support. You know, I feel like everyone understands my passion and love for Notre Dame. So I'm just really fortunate. I'm really, really grateful for all of your support. Supporting women's sports is really, really important. So I'm thankful for that.
That's been a big theme. We'll close on this one. That whole idea of the equality of women's sports and the importance of making sure the women are taken care of like the men has been a big theme. It was a theme for Muffet. It's a theme for you. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen it from 2 perspectives. So being in the NBA, the amount of resources that the NBA has is unbelievable. The staffs, you know, I have one trainer, they had 8. You know, so the balance that, like you said, the equity is totally different. So for me, coming back to on the women's side, and following a legend who was very passionate about women's equality, it's really important. It's definitely out in the forefront, and I want to do everything I can to try to help our team feel like they have the opportunity to compete, but also be as equal as the men.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks for all you do, not just for women's basketball, but all across Notre Dame. Thanks for being such an amazing representative.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.